Hi everyone, I'm Chelsea and this is my presentation of my final project. I chose to do something a little different. It's not really a collage, but more of a collection of things that I've come across throughout this course that I found to be inspiring or just things that really kind of stuck with me. So here it goes. I started by decorating the cover of this journal, and it's just kind of some fun things that I like or that represent me. And there's my name, so you know that I wrote it. On the first page here is my mission statement that we had to write for this class. It says, I will use my motivation and creativity to live a full life so that I may be a positive example for my children. I wrote this as my mission statement because my children are definitely the most important thing to me. They are my highest value. And so it's important to me to be a good person and set a good example for them. And a lot of what I've taken out of this course has actually helped me to be a better person. If you're wondering why it's on a sticky note, I really liked in the article that we read for this part of the class that said if you don't change your mission statement, you're going to find yourself irrelevant. And so I put it on a sticky note because it is subject to change. On this page, I wrote a story that I've come across many times about a Cherokee grandfather telling his grandson about a fight that goes on inside all of us between two wolves. One is good and one is evil. And the grandson asks which one wins, and the grandfather tells him the one you feed. And I included this particular story because it really resonated balance to me. Because sometimes we feed one wolf and sometimes we feed the other, and we learned in this course, throughout the course, it was a recurring theme that balance was really important. I also included this picture of a brain that says trust your gut to represent the second unit, about how much our gut bacteria actually affects our whole lives. And I just thought that whole portion of the course was really interesting, so that was just kind of a funny little reminder for me. So next I have the Pinky Promise, and that is to represent me making stress my friend. The quote that is there is directly out of How to Make Stress Your Friend by Kelly McGonigal. And it says, researchers estimated that over the 8 years they were tracking deaths, 182,000 Americans died prematurely. Not from stress, but from the belief that stress was bad for you. Excuse me. And then that kind of really forced me to look at my attitude and to change the way that I look at things. Sorry, I know it's kind of backwards in the computer. But that really kind of affected me and made me kind of look at how I react to things and how I react to stress. Next, I kind of included the unit from Shock that included chakras. So this is just a watercolor with the colors of the chakras and kind of just what they stand for. Connection, intuition, truth, love, energy, emotions, and instinct. And then this is a quote that I found outside of this course that I really liked about the heart chakra. And what it says is, I listen to my heart and honor its connection to the hearts of others. I allow love to fill me up and guide me in all of my actions. I gracefully move to the rhythm of life. I just thought that quote was really cool and kind of what I want to aspire to. So next I have my little hashtag HackLife, and I put that in there to excuse me, represent my favorite TED Talk of the class, Hack Schooling. I was really inspired by this kid who was so young and yet seemed to have it all figured out. I didn't understand why more people haven't taken his approach to schooling or to life. He just has all these experiences, and that's how he learns. He applies his life to the things he's learning, and it just really amazed me. And so I had to kind of include that in my book. And then I also had this quote. Again, I know you can't read it, but it's there, and it says, "To live a creative life, we must lose our fear of being wrong." Joseph Chilton Pearce. And the reason I included that was because of one of the TED Talks that said adults are less creative than children because adults are afraid of being judged and afraid of being wrong, whereas children don't have that fear. And so I kind of included this quote to remind me always to kind of stop being afraid and just express your creativity, which is why I'm showing you guys all of my crazy drawings. So this page was to represent the financial portion of the class, and it's actually just song lyrics. The song is called Rich Kids by Judah and the Lion, and it's basically saying that we're rich, but we don't have any money. And I just really liked that because even though I agree with a lot of what we learned about saving and investing from DeMartini and our other book as well, it seems that there's a very high value on money, and my value of it is not as high as it seemed to be in the books. So I just kind of included that because to me there's a lot more important things than money, even though money is really nice and good to have. So this is from the family and relationships portion. I've drawn the heart hands, and I included this quote, which my fiance and I have kind of embraced of our own. It's a Dr. Seuss quote, I think, but it's also from Boy Meets World. So it says, "We're all a little weird, and life's a little weird, but when we find someone whose weirdness is compatible with ours, we fall in mutual weirdness and call it love." We have embraced the weird. And so that's just my kind of representation of that portion. Next, I have hashtag connected, and my little tin cans connected by my string, because the video that we watched about the woman trying to have enough time with her dad really had an impact on me. It's amazing how so much has changed, how things like social media have helped us to connect and at the same time have driven us apart. It is a lot to take in when you're from someone of a generation who's always kind of had that. I spend a lot of time on social media, and it really just made me think about how much time I do spend and how it really does affect my life and the lives of others. It was just really interesting, I thought. So for spirituality, I have my hashtag Namaste and my hands with their mala beads for meditation, or to represent meditation. And then this quote that says, "We are Earth people on a spiritual journey to the stars. Our quest, our Earth walk, is to look within to know who we are, to see that we are connected to all things, that there is no separation, only in the mind." And I liked this quote because it kind of brought together two pieces of the unit, or of the class, I mean. So spirituality and connectedness, not just to each other, but to all things. So I really like that quote and included it. I have this giant leaf that I collected in here, and with it is a quote that I really like that says, "Change is a whisper, it's a season, it's slow and quiet and not very dramatic, but it's up to you." A lot of what I learned in this course has forced me to evaluate different aspects of my life and whether or not I was really happy with the way I was handling things. And so I knew there were a lot of things that I wanted to change. Not that I was necessarily bad before, but that I could definitely be better. So I included this quote and the leaf kind of as a reminder that change is up to me. And this is the last page that I've done, and it's a quote from One Tree Hill, which is one of my favorite TV series. And it says, "It's the oldest story in the world. One day you're 17 and planning for someday, and then quietly, without you ever really noticing, someday is today, and then someday is yesterday, and this is your life." And the first time I heard this quote, it stuck with me because when you're young, you think, oh, I have all this time in the world, and then all of a sudden you blink, and all this time has passed, and you're looking back. So I included this also as a reminder to myself that I need to stop looking forward, and that I need to live in the present moment. As you may have noticed, there's a couple of blank pages or a lot of blank space. And I've kind of left those areas blank so that I can kind of reflect on these portions of each chapter that have really kind of had an effect on my life, and so that I can look back and continue to reflect on it. The reason that I did this journal was so that I could use it and not just have it be a project that I was going to throw away or toss in the basement when I was done. The rest of it's still blank. There's nothing in the rest of it yet. I plan on using it to keep track and as a reminder of how far I've come since the beginning of this journey that was this class. I've really enjoyed this class, and though this is my only actual face-to-face interaction with you guys, or face-to-computer interaction with you guys, it's been great talking to a lot of you in the discussion boards, and I've really learned a lot and taken a lot away from this class. Thanks, guys.